Hey guys, Ash here. I wanted to do a video about healing in invasions for a long time, but never got around to it. Knowing when and how to heal is maybe the most important concept to grasp in invasions, and surprisingly it's not one of the most focused aspects by uploaders, myself included. The truth is, you will heal in almost all invasions, and although most invaders don't think about it, learning how to heal might make the biggest difference between a competent invader and an incompetent one. I won't cover Fate builds in this video. Maybe in the next video I will discuss healing on Fate builds. Let's get started. When you invade, you will have half the Estus flasks rounded down that you have as a host of embers. Now, all invaders should have 15 Estus flasks at plus 10, even if you invade at low soul levels. This is because your number of Estus and their upgrade levels do not interfere with the matchmaking of whom you invade, unlike your weapon upgrade level or your soul level. By not doing this, you are hampering yourself. Some experienced invaders don't fully upgrade their Estus flasks, or have less than the maximum amount in order to make invasions even more challenging. However, if you are learning, I fully advise you to get the maximum number of Estus at plus 10. A fully upgraded Estus flask heals for 600 HP. Most good soul level 125 builds will have 40 vigor, meaning you will have 1213 HP. This means that 2 Estus will nearly fill your health bar. As I never go above 40 vigor in my builds, I try not to chug if I am much above 50% health. Why? Because you cannot heal more than the maximum amount of HP. All the healing above that will go to waste. By always healing up to 90 to 95% of your total health pool, you ensure that you get the maximum healing out of your Estus flasks. Look at this time lapse of my health bar in this invasion. Rarely I am at 100% health. If you have lower vigor, because you are invading at lower soul levels for example, you always need to keep this in mind and have the feel about how much 600 HP equates to your health pool. However, does this mean you should never heal before you get to 50% health? No, there are a lot of situations that you will need to heal to full and some situations where you should not. A typical situation when you should heal to full is when you are fighting several high damaging weapons, especially at higher soul levels. This is because if one of those guys stun locks you, you will get hit by several people, all of them doing a lot of damage. In order to survive, I will often heal to full before engaging in these situations. Other situation is if you are at low health but you need to finish an opponent. Remember that at invasions you are at a big Estus disadvantage relatively to the host. This means that in most situations you will not outlast the host Estus wise. So sometimes risk needs to be taken to assure a kill against a phantom or a host. In this situation we are both hurt, but if I heal he will also heal and the fight will reset and I will have to start over and the host will probably have more Estus than me. Also, time always runs against an invader in invasions where no dried finger is on or when you are not fighting in Covenant specific areas, because the host can always summon friendly phantoms or blues can be summoned. Then there are weapons that will force you to heal inefficiently. Vort Great Hammer is a good example. Even if you don't get hit, the frostbite build-up on Vort will continue. If you get hit, you will have to account for the 2 R1s plus the frostbite effect proccing. So if I'm not using Rime Blue Moss Clumps, I will err in the side of safety and heal twice, like in this example. However, there are situations where healing can be used, but it is not urgent, such as when playing at lower soul levels where your opponent's weapons are doing much less damage and your life is not at risk. In this situation I can take a lot of punishment and not heal, which allows me a greater leeway to be offensive, to run away without healing, or to bait them because they think I'm low on Estus. Knowing how long it takes to chug is fundamental to apply pressure on an opponent or to shake pressure from an opponent yourself. There are basically 3 ways of punishing Estus chugging that equate basically to 2 distances. The running attack, or jumping attack, but running attack is much more common, or 2 R1s, or backstabbing. Backstabbing is a different beast, but we will get to that later. The running attack allows you to cover a greater distance, but you will only hit your opponent once before the stun lock ends. The 2 R1s do more damage than the running R1, obviously, but they require you to be closer to your opponent, like in this case. It is important that you know how to judge the range at which your opponent is and speed and range of your weapons. In this case he cannot punish my healing, but he misjudges the distance and gives me the opportunity to retaliate. Backstabbing the heal, it's another kettle of fish. It is an advanced technique and very hard to pull reliably, as lag or latency also heavily factors in the equation. It is a risk-reward thing. You can do a huge chunk of damage or not do damage at all. This also depends on the speed of your backstab animation and the backstab hitbox. For example, it's harder to backstab with ultras as the animation is slower and the hitboxes are smaller, and it's easier to backstab with daggers as the hitbox is larger and the animation faster. Some very experienced invaders say that the risk reward is not worth it. Some say that it is. I don't punish Estus with backstabs very often, as I'm not very consistent with it and I feel that the risk reward is too harsh, as I usually don't use critical focused builds like Chaos or Dark builds. Some players like Goof do it with the seemingly greatest of ease, but there is a lot of practice involved. The Platinum 7, a YouTube uploader, has made a very good short video about Estus punishing backstabs. Link in the description. Once you master the healing distances, you can use this for baits, such as parries or to use your hyper armor against your opponent. This invasion was basically won just by healing at the right times. These guys were being super passive and didn't want to leave the bonfire area. I shot them with a great bow, but ended up switching from Vort's hammer to the exile, as it's a more aggressive option. I make a mistake and then I get hit. I retreat to heal. They can't punish my healing at this distance. I again get aggressive, but again I mess up. Now they will give chase, but I won't drink until it's safe. As I get here, I see that the host doesn't want to commit to this area. Now I'm in control again. I judge the distance and know that the Sunbro cannot punish me for more than my Estus, so I chug. Now I can chug safely, but as I do, I go in the direction of the Sunbro to bait his attack. I can swing at the same time as the Sunbro and win the trade, as the hyper armor on the exile is stronger than the hyper armor on the spear, as spears don't have hyper armor. Now the Sunbro is running away, and I give chase to the dead end. Now the host joins the fight, but I swing first and the Sunbro panic heals. They die in 2 swings. This was another example. The host changes to a great shield and I swap to my bleed infused bandit knife. However, he is not letting me get close, and then I get hit. He is being super passive, so I can use his passivity and weak chase down weapon to heal wherever I want. I choose to drink at a small distance from him in order for him to attack me. When I stop healing, I immediately attack and now he's in full flight mode. The fight ended soon after. A lot of invaders scoff at the Estus ring. I think it's one of the best rings in the game that can be used in several ways to give you an edge. The Estus ring increases the HP healed by an Estus by 20%. I use it in 3 ways. Hard swapping rings if the opposing party is not being too aggressive and I can heal safely. This makes your healing more efficient and not lose a ring slot to the Estus ring. I can also use it as default in some very light armor builds that I know that will take a lot of damage if I get hit. Healing more is an indirect way of improving my armor. I had a sorcery ninja that used the ninja set. The ninja set is basically pepper armor, so I'm using the Estus ring to compensate the damage. I also use it on some Bonfire Duels, as it equates to have almost a free 1.5 Estus flasks, and this can make a difference. I also use it to get me more time. In this situation I'm fighting 2 guys, I managed to kill the 3rd. These guys, especially the host, are not very good, and I know that I can get the win if I have some more Estus to back me up. I swap to the Estus ring, help me kill them. All the good duelists use passive healing when they get damaged, as there is no Estus chugging in duels. In invasions, however, passive healing is in my view much less useful, as Estus heals so much faster and many times you are in a high pressure situation, in where you must secure a kill lest the host resummons or a blue gets summoned. However, that is not to say that passive regen is useless. Some invasions take more time than others and some turn into wars of attrition. There are several items that heal HP in Dark Souls 3 just by equipping them. Sacred Chime of Filianor is also very useful, as you can activate the weapon art and put it away, which is something that only happens on this chime. There are 2 consumables that you can also use in invasions in order to get some additional fast healing. However, these consumables are finite per playthrough, unless other players drop additional items for you. You can only use 1 Divine Blessing and 10 Sigbrows per invasion. The Divine Blessing heals all of your HP and the Sigbrow heals for 375 HP. With all of this said, I want to show you guys 2 invasions that were Bonfire Duels, where the whole fight revolved around healing, as duels in invasions tend to do. So this guy is using the Fume and I'm using the Sellsword Twin Blade, so he has a big range advantage and I need to attack him between his swings. And now I want to pressure him because he needs to heal. But here I chose to back off. I didn't want to end the fight that quickly because I didn't think he was very good. But here he punishes my healing. I thought I was out of range, but he punishes my healing. Now he knows that I want to heal, so he's staying close, and I use the fact that he thinks that I'm going to heal to counterattack. And now I'm going all out on him, but he goes for the rolling attack, and now we both have to heal, so we both reset to neutral. So I'm just trying not to get hit with his rolling attacks, because those are the fastest attacks on the Fume. So I'm trying to keep my distance and wait for him to make a mistake. So now I get hit by his backswing. I didn't think that he was going to swing twice. So now we're kinda locked in this position where we both need to heal. And I take the opportunity to heal, but he does not. So he knows that he made a mistake, and now I'm staying on his face. And he's trying to get some distance to heal, and I stagger my L1s and manage to kill him. This was also an interesting fight. I'm using the Black Knight Great Axe and he's using the Onyx Blade. So I have a big damage advantage and he has the range advantage. So I need to be careful for him not to outspace me like he did here with the R2, which is very good on the Onyx Blade. So at this point I get some damage in. And here I go for a heal. It's important to heal first because now I can punish his healing if he decides to heal. Now I go for a restart parry and I whiff, but he doesn't punish my heal, so and he doesn't drink as well, so this is very good for me. I go for the swap for the Black Knight Great Axe, but I whiff, and now I'm in the offensive again because I have a health lead. Now he catches me with the rolling attack, and now we both heal and the fight resets to neutral. Now I get to R1s in, and now I have to really pressure him. I cannot allow him to heal. This fight needs to end now. So I go for the two-handed straight sword moveset in order to outspeed him, and now I go for the weapon art R2 in order to trade with the Onyx Blade and kill him. This fight was interesting because I think that he fought better than me. He damaged me more than I damaged him. He had an Estus and an HP lead, and still I was able to beat him because I healed and pressured his heals at the right times. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.